Hello everyone, CPAT with another Exceed commentary. Happy April Fool's Day, by the way. This is how the room looks like, and we have a bunch of cats with what appears to be heterochromia or like really bad like color matching or whatever with the picture. We have a match here, a semifinals match between Chykka on red versus J-2S0 on blue. Sorry, this introduction is a little bit hasty, just because we had a little bit of a situation where we had a glitch. We had a little bit of a glitch where cards were not showing on screen and cards were not they were not really loading properly, but it looks like we fixed it for now. We are on this beautiful, beautiful board for the semifinals match of the Dream Match tournament hosted by Moriarty in the Breakfast Club Discord. We're going to have Chykka on the Zoe, which is this like a furry Zoe? I don't know what's going on here. Against Jay on the Jin, interestingly enough. So Chykka, I'm pretty sure, has been representing Pookie and Turnerlouse this whole tournament. I did see him, I did catch him practicing the Zoe a little bit, I believe. Zoe's a character I don't really remember seeing. All I remember is that she just generates a bunch of force for free, and then yeah, it's a whole ordeal. She or not even force, she just generates a bunch of gauge for free. This game's already off. We missed turn one. It's a preemptive coming out. This just feels like preemptive spike to me, if I had to guess. Does Zoe have an answer to preemptive spike? Looks like she doesn't. And yeah, here's the preemptive spike dealing 7 to Chykka. A little bit aggressive in terms of Jay only having one card. I wonder why you didn't spend the gauge to draw to Jetshin's UA. But Jay off to an early lead. However, we're still in neutral. Zoe does have one gauge built up so far. And a little bit of an expensive turn, spending all that force to deal 7 without gaining advantage or drawing cards or anything. But good start for Jay here, as he's built 2 gauge. I think we actually casted Jay's Jin in the past. I think we casted him in, I would say, round 1. I don't remember who he was against, though. I don't remember any of the specifics behind it. But it looks like hands are working fine. And of course we have Chykka on the Zoe. So he's been playing Pookie and Turnerlouse all tournament, but for the semis here, looks like we're gonna see true Chykka with the Zoe here. Surely this is just a prep coming out from Jin. Yeah, prep. Zoe with that +2 power on the board. I actually don't remember Zoe's option. You know what? I forgot we're doing commentary without looking at the cards. I think this is maybe the second Zoe I've casted. Looks like just a wild swing coming out from Jay in response to this focus charge. That's invalid. Surely. Because, well, actually, this will, so this is a, oh, wait, this is valid. This can be valid, interestingly enough. So focus charge has text of +1 power for each space you're not able to close. And yeah, Jay's actually thinking about validating this. So this would be a 6 power focus charge dealing 5. And because it deals 5, this would push 5, which makes Ice Fang hit. What a weird interaction. It looks like Jay is gonna validate this ultra. So strange. Have this kind of interaction we haven't seen before. So yeah, this is gonna be a push 4, excuse me. And looks like Jay is thinking about not validating this. Okay, interesting. Chooses not to validate it. And gets a block instead. Okay, so that actually works out quite well, all things considered. For Jay, we'll probably spend a little bit of gauge just to negate some damage. This, I believe, is a 5 power focus charge coming out. Oh, interesting. Jay will opt to spend 0 force and take 3 damage. This also means that Chykka gets to push 3. So we are back at starting positions here. Of course, we take a look at Zoe's UA, which is just really good gauge generation here. If your attack hit, you may add the top card of your discard to your gauge and return your attack to your hand. So Zoe just builds immense resources, just Just a very, very strong character from what I've seen. I've only seen maybe 1 or 2 games of her. Um, she's got some good. She's got like a rage dodge. She's got fireball. We'll see those cards as they come out later. Looks like Jay just opts for the prepare action. Again, sorry, this is a little bit hasty just because the game had started. As you saw, I believe we were at turn 2. Jin struck with a Crystal Strike turn 1, and Chykka blocked it, discarded an Assault. But we had an issue with the room here, so that's why we kind of had to reset a little bit late. So I'm a little bit flustered because of that. But as Jay wild swings the second block, wow, okay, interestingly enough, against the Gale Blade, a little bit of a fireball here from Zoe. I don't believe Gale Blade is in the discard, so not full value there, but that Gale Blade will return to hand. Zoe moves to range 5, and Jay opts to take 1 damage, interesting enough. Jay has not spent any force for his blocks, interestingly enough. Just opting to take the damage. Has built 4 gauge, though, so can, in theory, exceed if he wants. Nope, just going to boost the Permafrost now. Jay does have an attack that hits at range 5. That is his guarded Fireball and Ice Blade, which will trade pretty nicely into that Gale Blade, which only has 3 power. Let me just go ahead, and since Diaz left the room, I'm just going to turn the number of max players down. Chykka opting to strike here into this. Of course, the Ice Blade will be dodged because Gale Blade has after move 1, so Chykka can take a step back and force that Ice Blade to miss. But however, Jay does have an Ultra. No, unfortunately, it is the Gale Blade. However, the dive, very good option there from Jay. However, he will not hit, of course, but he will be able to advance 3 because of the guard on the Cool under pressure. So actually really well played there from Jay. Identifying that he was going to lose the strike and decided to play the dive for positioning instead. Nicely done. That's why he tacked on that 4 guard. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense now. Tacking on the 4 guard wouldn't make sense on the Ultra or the Ice Blade, obviously. The Ice Blade would miss. But however, Jin does move up. Zoe's forced to move back because if Zoe moves forward, then Jin actually hits with the dive, interestingly enough. Back to Jin. Jin just opting for regular old-fashioned strike, not opting for the after draw 2. It's an assault into the focus. Pretty standard stuff here. Jin will take 4. Chykka will take 2. Chykka will draw a card. Jin's advantage. Really interested to see why Jay's not using his gauge. Maybe he's preferring it for Moonsong. Although the thing is, he's dropped 1 Moonsong already, and he's dropped 1 Ice Blade. Jin at range 1, like something like the whatchamacallit makes sense. The dual Ice Strike makes sense here. Just a really, really safe option with 3 armor. Gains advantage as well if Zoe chooses to remain in the corner. Obviously, it can just be like a random DP of a little bit of a mix-up there alongside the standard range 1 normals. Shaky thing about wild swinging this. Let me actually... Okay, so Sure You Can doesn't really dodge super well. Unfortunately, at range 1, it only moves 2, kind of like a vacant shift. It is the dual Ice Strike, as we called out. That Neo Cosmic Flare is not going to hit. So 1 down. Second wild swing is that Tsunami Slicer. Would only do 1 damage and have its advantage stolen. And nope, that Gale Blade is not going to work. Chykka, however, can opt to move out of the corner if he so chooses. And yeah, he will. So that dual Ice Strike will push Zoe out of that corner. Won't gain advantage. Chykka will take 3, but he's now out of the corner, and he has tons of space behind him to work with. So actually not the worst strike, all things considered. I mean, there were maybe a couple better wild swings than that. Like, Dive would have been okay. I mean, Dive means that he doesn't get hit. Something like Grass means that he doesn't get hit, but is stuck in the corner. But all things considered, I'd say this second Gale Blade was a pretty good wild swing, especially because 1's in hand. So Chykka can now return this Gale Blade from his discard to his gauge as well. And then get a second gauge on top of that, of course, with Zoe's UA. Wonder if Chykka is thinking whether this is the correct time to exceed here, although he does have a full hand, so he would have to discard 1. Can obviously just strike with the known Gale Blade, can mix it up, although one dive and one spike are both engaged currently, and I don't believe Zoe has any good other mix-up options. She has Gut Shot, I guess, but no, she doesn't really have that many good like mix-up options to besides to pair with a speed 5, you know. And of course, Jay is just at range 3, so that's threat of the second Moon Song. Not super likely to be in hand with 4 in hand, 12 in discard. The fact that Jay played Assault instead of the Moon Song. But, yeah, I mean, the Jin with 6 gauge currently does it, that threat, the threat of Moon Song is always real. Looks like a reading coming out here from Chykka. Only 4 card hand though, so this is a little bit hopeful. And we see a hand of EX Violent Ice, Ice Fang, and that Moon Song that we called out. Interestingly enough, Jay has drawn both the Ultras. Looks like the reading was on sweep, so surely this Moon Song just comes out on defense and pops anything that Chykka's throwing. This actually might just be the Gale Blade, honestly. I don't think it's Spike or Dive. I think it's the Gale Blade. Yeah, this Moon Song is surely going to win combat, though, unfortunately. Yep, it is the Gale Blade. Chykka will take 6, and yeah, just unfortunate reading there. No normals in Jay's hand, maybe a little bit hopeful even. But that I guess we didn't really expect the Moon Song in hand there from Jay. So I guess this makes sense. Looks like Jay is going to be spending the rest of his gauge on Exceeding. Obviously, he's down Ultras, and I mean he has his Ice Fang left, which can be useful. But no, just opts for the Exceed. Gets a little bit of a mini reload as well. Yeah, Jin Exceed is not bad. I mean, you just get a bunch of free card draw, and you can force the opponent to discard down as well, which can be useful. Notably, no gauge now, so Zoe in theory can step back with something like an Assault boost if she has it. This might not be the worst turn to Exceed either from Zoe. And Chykka's thinking about it. Will he do it? He's holding it. Oh, he takes it down. Maybe he's thinking about what cards to spend. I think he just grabbed 3 random cards and put it in the Exceed. Actually, maybe it doesn't matter so much. I mean, no, it doesn't matter. These cards will probably end up engaged soon anyway. And yeah, looks like Zoe flips. So look at this bad boy here. Look at that bottom passive text. When you spend gauge, add the spent cards to your hand. So Zoe is just a resource monster. On backside, like look at this. This is wild. So you still get the after ability, but you also get this. You also get this passive ability as well. So Jin Overdrive will go off. Believe Jay drew one. Opts to strike here. At least no Moon Song, so like cross is free. And yeah, there's the cross from Zoe. Called it. So yeah, Zoe obviously down life as well. Probably definitely does not want to get hit here. Unfortunately, of course, Zoe doesn't get her after, and actually just opts to prep in response. Second Overdrive will go off here. Jin will draw another card. Jin doesn't have a bunch of options at range 4, will instead opt to move to range 1. Zoe's still a little bit cornered here, plus spends a cross on the combat, so it doesn't really have it for the boost. Or actually does have 1 copy left, if I'm not mistaken. So it can just boost cross to hop over to range 3 again. Where they'll do their dance over again, and Jin's actually out of assaults as well. Does have the shape, which is on curve at range 3 as well. Notably the ice car, which only 1 was spent, but maybe, I don't know, I feel like a second ice car would be better spent as the overhead boost, which is just great for closing out games. Anyway, back to Zoe, back to Chykka here. I'm just gonna check the recordings, see, make sure it's working fine. Looks like it is. And yeah, Chykka with a full hand, but unfortunately it looks like he doesn't really have a super obvious play, although Chykka is a relatively deliberate player. He's definitely taking his time here. This board is very... Okay. So it looks like Chykka will spend 2 force in the form of dive and block to return to hand. The block, of course, will return to hand. Chykka will have to discard down. Choose to discard the spike he just drew. Technically should shuffle his hand beforehand, but, you know, it's fine. Jin's third overdrive will go off. So far, the overdrive has given... And Jin's overdrive, as the base, gives you, like, even if you don't do very much with it, it does give you some value because you are still drawing a bunch of cards with it. Hasn't gotten the afters or the hits yet because Jin hasn't initiated a strike so far. That EX... EX whatchamacallit, EX Violent Ice, known quantity in Jin's hand here. Just a 5 power speed 8 option. So let's see if Jay maybe wants to attempt a mix up with that, knowing that Violent Ice is in hand. Maybe throws out a different attack instead. Or could obviously just throw out that Violent Ice, which will hit for sure. Not a bad option there. Jay was second, Crystal Strike discarded. What? I don't remember how this was discarded. I would have expected Jay to keep this card because I think the boost on it's insane. Looks like, nope, it looks like, we are opting for the Violent Ice instead. This could be just a pinpoint strike into the second Violent Ice just to gain advantage and deal 5 damage. Get a little bit of positioning as well. Get a card off it and force Jin to discard. Or force Zoe to discard a card, excuse me. We do know that second Violent Ice is in hand. But yeah, of course, like a lot of strikes, this is a little bit of a mix-up here between a fast and a slow. Let's see if Chykka's able to call it. Chykka looking at that discard, I believe we haven't seen like any slow come out from Jay. Well, we've seen a dual ice, but I feel like he just has a lot of slows left in his deck as well. So this mix-up is actually quite potent. Chykka, of course, does have that block. Can just block this if he wants, and yeah, it is the block into the sweep. A little bit resource heavy here for Chykka as the Tsunami Slicer pops out of the hand as well. That rejuvenation boost is really good. In this scenario, I think the Ultra is good when Chykka builds more resources. Yeah. Jin, of course, having that hit effect of the opponent must discard a card, and then the opponent must spend more force for this block to not take damage. Jin will get advantage on top of that, will draw another card, will flip back on his turn. But overall, even though Jay only got 1 strike out of this Jin UA, you can still extract a good amount of value just because the overdrive gives you a draw. There's some characters in Season 5 where that's not really possible to extract a lot of value out of an overdrive where you don't strike very much, but Jin does have like that baseline that I discussed earlier. This sweep into the block is really unfortunate. Pulls the Ultra out for the force and then pulls an extra card on top of it. So Zoe will really have to spend a lot of resources here if Chykka wants to mitigate all of this damage. And Jay is looking really good here, in my opinion. Okay, Chykka will drop the Neocosmic Flare, the second copy of the Neocosmic Flare, I believe. We'll take the 1 damage, of course, because it's a 7 power sweep. And Jay will gain advantage. He will drop that 4th overdrive card and revert back. And yeah, I mean, has the gauge, has 1 gauge. Doesn't have any ultras left outside of that 1 Ice Fang. So yeah, I mean, Zoe can't really zone in theory. Second Scorn coming out here from Jay. Really good boost here. Replaces itself as far as both card and action is concerned and lets you choose your range. This is just a super solid. Like, this boost is just super solid. Jin, of course, prefers range 2 as well, so this makes sense to me. Jin, of course, does still have that DP in hand. We know that for a fact. I mean, Chykka does have, like, EX Shoryuken to dodge, I guess. But, nope, Jay just opting for a simple strike here. Let's see if it's fast or slow again. Jay went for the slow option before. He's going for the dual ice strike. Unfortunately, will not get advantage off it. Just a very low impact strike, all things considered. Just 1 for 1. Both characters do get some resources, though. Zoe, of course, gets more resources because that Neocosmic Flare will return. Oh, yeah, that Neocosmic Flare will return to Gauge due to Zoe's UA. Or whatever this, like, furry Zoe is. I don't really know. I'm not really well-versed in that fandom. So yeah, Zoe in a little bit of a bind here. Hasn't built up a ton of resources yet, unfortunately. Looks like Chykka opting to reshuffle here. Jay's just gonna not look. Says there's too many cards in the deck left for me to extrapolate too much information, I guess. We're just gonna check number of cards here because of that fakey pulsar game. Looks like we're at 30 here. 22, 24, 30. Okay, so we're good on that. I don't remember if I turned the validation mode on for this set. I turned it on the last room, but this is a new room. Although it was the same room I loaded in. Second pinpoint strike coming out from Jay here. So no DPs left, but this could just very easily be cross, honestly. So cross into something like an Ice Fang would not be a bad play here. I think, especially when you have this kind of life lead here as Jin, I would expect that kind of play to happen. Obviously, it's range 2, so Spike is always in the mix up there. That's something you always have to be worried about. But yeah, so we did see both the Neo Cosmic Flares drop, which is kind of Zoe's answer to the Ice Fang. But as it stands, it looks like cross into Ice Fang is pretty uncontestable for now. Unfortunately for Zoe. And yeah, I mean, this cross will do 4. The Ice Fang will do 4 as well. Won't kill. However, Jin obviously gets to choose his range afterward, so can hop back into range 2. And yeah, there's the cross. We'll beat out that gut shot. We'll deal 4 damage to Zoe. Interesting. Yep. Not interestingly enough, but Jin gets to choose his range. We'll choose range 6, and surely here comes the Ice Fang. Can even pop an after draw 2 on it, because as it stands, Jin has 5 cards left. And maybe Jay's like okay with not drawing another Moonsong to close out the game. Can maybe close out the game a different way. Chykka actually looks like he's counting the cards to see what those 5 cards are left. I'm assuming Jay's going to be striking here. Oh, no, interesting. Oh, okay. Opts to draw the Astral instead of striking with the Ice Fang, saying, hey, if you're going to strike, I can respond with this Ice Fang instead. Don't need to strike with it now. I'm happy with sitting here at range 6, especially when you're down 1 Neo Cosmic Flare and you don't have a ton of resources built up, actually, so this is fine for now. Obviously, Chykka can spend this Neo Cosmic Flare as force for something and then just return it to hand, because that's what Zoe does. But Jin does have a turn here where he's able to reshuffle, get that Astral for the burst. 4-gauge Astral does hit full board, so that is also a win con, potentially. This card really solid against the zoners, especially. Interestingly enough, Chykka will spend 2 force, but not in the form of the Neo Cosmic Flare, to draw 3. And spends 0 force from the gauge, so doesn't get the recycling either. Jin boosting second permafrost. Actually, no, not second. We just reshuffled. Keeping that Astral in hand, interestingly enough. We're gonna hold that as a threat over Zoe. Doesn't really decides, hey, I don't really need the extra cards now. Off the burst action, and I'm perfectly content sitting here at range 6 when Zoe doesn't return the Neo Cosmic Flare to hand. So yeah, just opts for the Permafrost, which is essentially a change cards 1 that gives you, it's essentially, it's more than change cards 1, right? It's like a prep action, that's also like a spend a card for 4 guard on the next strike. I guess that was a really superfluous way of saying what the card does. It's plus 4 card now, draw 2. Anyways, back to Chykka here. I'm really shocked that he didn't return this Neo Cosmic Flare to hand. Because Neo Cosmic Flare has the capacity to pop the 5 defenses on Ice Fang. Of course, now this is going to be a 9 defense Ice Fang. Okay, so now Chykka is going to do something. He's spending 4 force. He's spending 4 force to move to range 2. Okay. Now I don't know what's going on. I had no idea what Chykka's doing at range 2, I'm not gonna lie. Is he trying to hit like a Maori defender? like a Maori defender cross, and will, I mean, so the problem with like a Maori defender cross situation is the fact that Jin has multiple ways to call that out, right? Jin has a cross catcher at range 2 with Ice Blade, and of course that Ultra, which we know is in Jin's hand as well. It looks like Jay just opting boost light here at range 2 now that he finds himself really close. Chykka did spend a die from hand as well, so this light is unlikely to be teched. Yeah, things are looking really, really good for Jin here, in my opinion. I don't really know what Zoe can do. At range 2, she finds herself at range 2 here. With that +2 speed, this Maori defender cross situation looks way, way worse. Like, none of these cards look like they really help in this scenario either. So yeah, I'm not really sure what Chykka can do here, range 2, now that he spent the dive. You can't even, like, parry anything. I don't even think you can parry a thing. Like, Jay can even threaten a preemptive into a spike here at 7 speed, and that'll just, like, eviscerate, I guess. Well, no, we have 6 life here left. Chykka striking with that EX Maori defender, looks like. Saying, hey, Jay, have you drawn a cross, or have you drawn a DP? So I believe Jin has drawn, what, 3 cards off the top? Maybe 0 were left in the reshuffle situation as well. So yeah, I mean, EX Maori speed 7. Jin needs a speed 8 to contest it, and does have the speed 8 in the Moon Song, and that is gonna do it. That's not gonna do, excuse me. Just, of course, is EX Maori Defender. So, okay, yeah, they're fixing that now. That Moonsong will deal 5 damage after armor. Maori Defender gets popped. Zoe finds herself at Jin's preferred range, down 17 life. And yeah, Jay's just going to strike here. Maybe even has the DP as well. Yeah, has the DP. Finishes off the game in style. Jin takes game 1 over Chykka Zoe, who found herself in the wrong neighborhood at the wrong time at the end there, huh? Coming into range 2, yeah, it's stuck with a bunch of ultras in hand that weren't really doing much. Got 0 value out of rejuvenation. Got 0 value of the ultras in general, both rejuvenation and the neocosmic flare. A little bit of an unfortunate game there for Chykka. But yeah, Jay played that extremely well on that Jin. Basically stood at the right ranges for him the entire game. Found a way to hit Moonsong twice. Even though the gauge usage with the overdrive didn't look great, Jay just won so many combats and built so much gauge that it really didn't matter. Just that overdrive just became like a huge change cards action. And yeah, Jin is out. So now Jay, I believe, has Zoe of his own, as well as a Mei Lian. Chykka, of course, has that Zoe again, and has Pookie and Turtlehouse. So if we look at the top 4 of this tournament, I believe every Mei Lian has made top 4, if I'm not mistaken. Oh man, we've got a beautiful looking Pookie deck here. Unfortunately for little old Pookie, he's up against the terror that is Mei Lian. Cat Mei Lian, I'm sure, is even worse. At least we have cat versus cat. But yeah, Pookie, considered by a lot of people to be the worst character in the game, and Mei Lian considered to be the best legal character, or the best not banned character. I guess she's not legal. She's legal only in the tournament because the rules stipulate that any character from season 1 to season 5 can be played. But yeah, this is gonna be. Let's see what kind of tricks Chykka has here, to beat the menace that is Mei Lian. We did see Jay's Mei Lian before, and it looked decent. I don't really remember too much about it, but Mei Lian, while you can get a little cute with Melian, as I really want to just like clean up the board here. There's so much just garbage in the way. Like if Chykka accidentally drops a card into the selection bag, or like there are references here from the last game. And Chykka's like mulliganing over here on the side or something. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, it looks like a Mull 4 coming out from Pookie. We are, of course, super excited to see Pookie on the stream. I think this is probably my favorite character just for the memes. He's even got the little cat on. He's got his little cat cosplay. But I have no idea how Pookie's going to fare with Melian here. Pookie's a relatively... I don't know. I mean, Pookie's just not a good character. Maybe at least I don't know. Can't really contest a lot of the above curve options that Melian can represent when she gets. Okay, finally, Chykka's cleaning up his playboard. When Melian gets the plus range, Chykka just opts for a turn 1 prep. Jay opting for the strike here. This can be the Fujin Drum or dive. I think they're the only options. Don't think that we're throwing out a Dragon Thrash here. Or it could be a slow, obviously. But this feels like the Fujin Drum pushing Pookie back to range 6, where he can't hit anything unless he boosts Snack Attack. Which is, of course, the only ranged option that hits. That doesn't cost resources. So yeah, this Fujin Drum is looking pretty good here. Yeah, is the Fujin Drum takes out this excuse me. Guess we're rocking these normals, huh? I've never seen this before. It looks like a pig with some sort of okay, yeah. What? Happy April Fool's Day, everyone. Happy April Fool's Day. As Pookie finds himself at range 6. But yeah, as I was saying before, we have 4. This is the semifinals match. I think hopefully I specified that at the beginning of the video. This is a semifinals match. We have 3 Melians in semifinals, and then we have Chykka just chilling over here with this Pookie Turnerless combo. I'm all for it, but I have no idea how Pookie's gonna win against Melian. At the very least, at range 6 is not a threat yet. But range 5 can in theory be a threat with second Fujin Drum. But looks like Chykka is just gonna spend Force to move to, moves back to range 4. Surely there's not a second Fujin Drum in Melian's hand, right? Melian just probably gonna prep here. Yep, it's probably just super content with range 4. And of course, there's always that threat of like EX Assault at speed 6 from Melian here, which would just like absolutely ruin Pookie's day. Pookie opting to strike here. This is gonna be like a dive or a snack attack for the most part. Snack Attack, of course, has draw 2 cards on it, so a little bit of a reload as well. And it is the second Fujin Drum, dealing a measly 2, but pushing Pookie back. Or no, I mean Fujin Drum does 4, excuse me, because one's engage. Pushing Pookie back. Yeah, EX. Not much you can do against an EX Fujin Drum in the starting hand here, as J-2S0 boosts after returning your attack to your hand, put this card in your gauge. Lightning strikes twice, just a really solid boost, as well as a key charge as well, as well. Pookie at range 6, so no threats yet. That EX dive will not reach, fortunately, for Melian at range 6. Needs to be at range 5 on frontside Melian, of course. So yeah, Pookie last time chose to spend resources to move in. This time says no. Melian says, okay, I'll spend resources to move in. Moves into range 4 where that EX Assault is a daunting option at speed 6. We can also have, in theory, like an EX Dragon Tempest, although I don't really foresee that happening. EX Halberdier is another option, but really I think EX Halberdier is a card really best played twice in my opinion. So also Halberdier just totally blows up Drunken Rampage, huh? That's just so sad. We can take a look at Drunken Rampage here. This is kind of Pookie's ace in the hole here. It's his quote unquote most reliable game plan. Going for like a huge 11-12 damage Drunken Rampage, things like that. However, just gets owned by Halberdier, which is just so sad. So very, very sad. Probably also gets owned by like some random plus range ultra, or not ultra, excuse me, some random plus range special that Melian will ultimately throw to finish the game off. And yeah, I have no idea how Pookie wins this matchup, honestly. I hate to be such a downer so soon, especially because it's only like turn 5 or turn 6, but I just have no idea how Melian is, or how Pookie's gonna deal with Melian's above curve stuff. Like Pookie only has 2 lights in his deck, unfortunately. It is Pookie's turn. He's Chykka's he does this. He puts he moves his mouse in like a backwards L formation. Pookie spends 3 force in the form of Cross and Drunken Rampage to move forward. Um, Instead of boosting Cross. Is this a bit of nerves coming in? Uh, what? What's going on here? Okay, okay, there we go. I think yeah, Chykka looks a little bit nervous here, perhaps. Oh, he thought that was assault. Okay, you got, buddy. You got. Luckily, Jay, being a sporting gentleman, allows Chykka to return that drunken rampage to hand. Wow, that's too funny. You know, what'd be really funny though. Like a range 2. Actually, no, never mind. I'm not gonna say it. It's just dumb in a situation that's never gonna happen. Yeah, this cross look really looks like assault, huh? Because like the light blue, a reading coming out from Mei Lian here. Reading at the very least, this reading whiffs. So let's see what we got here as a hand. We got one of each ultra. Only the cross in hand. Long in the tooth, Pookie drinks, gambling. I'm in. So no gauge for the hat trick. This hand looks terrible. This hand looks so bad. I think Chykka just has to wild swing this reading. Like what? I mean, he can throw a cross in theory, depending on what was read. I'm assuming this is Melian just going for like another gauge of some sort. Maybe it's that Raijin knife even, which is just basically an unbeatable option. I mean, you can drink in theory, to stop a lot of Pookie, to stop a lot of attacks that Melian will throw, stop quote unquote, but you don't get the full value out of it because there's no boosts. But maybe you just do that anyway. You get a little bit of life as well on it. You get some extra cards going. That's not the worst option. If it's not drinks though, surely this is just a wild swing. I don't think you throw a long in the tooth. Okay, no, it's gonna be the cross against the sweep. Okay, never mind, we were wrong. We didn't really see what was thrown. That sweep will of course return to hand courtesy of lightning strikes twice, which is an after and not a hit for some reason. Melian has built up that 3rd gauge, so an early exceed is theoretically on the cards. However, more scary is the threat of this monstrous card called Raijin Oath. 4/10, 6 ignore armor. Looking at Pookie's hand, no way of dealing with it right now. And Pookie just has no way of dealing with this whatsoever. Instead, Jay just opting to boost the light. Which is like totally fine here. Now something like EX Spike will hit at range 4 for 7 damage. That's the thing about Melian, is that when you account for those random EXs that she can just randomly have, there's just so much extra stuff that hits you when you find yourself far away. Which is unfortunate. Chykka's out of crosses as well, so I'm assuming he's going to have to find his way in somehow, preferably to range 1 when you see that light come out. But it's not going to be with the cross boost. It's going to have to be with one of these ultras or something. Spending force to move in. At least the Fujin drum is down, but yeah, that Raijin Oath, just a huge threat. Although the Raijin Oath would be weird to see after a light getting tacked on there from Jay. I will say that much. Chykka just looking through options here, seeing what could be relevant threats. Looking at this Dragon Tempest, which does hit when it's EX. However, what a waste that would be. That's not the threat here. Chykka trying to suss out what the threat could be. It's probably some sort of EX normal, if I had to guess. that Jay is threatening here. And the worst part about it is so few cards have been spent. We have no idea what this EX normal could be. It could be Assault or Spike. But yeah, Chykka gonna have been forced to move to range 1. And there he is. Finds himself at range 1 now. Drops that Drunken Rampage as well. Although that could be difficult to spend. Jay sees this. I mean, he's at range 1 with a light boost compared to Pookie's 0 boost and 0 setup. Just opts to prep. Makes perfect sense to me. Just really, really good play here so far from Melian. Or from Jay in general. Not just his Melian. I guess we haven't seen a lot of his Melian. And I wouldn't even call it good play. Just having Fujin Drum, EX Fujin Drum, and then playing EX Fujin Drum. So not the most complicated play. So let's not compliment Jay too much just yet. Pookie takes his cards back in hand, probably opting to strike here. We saw that he has a Long in the Tooth left. We saw that he has a Hat Trick left. Hat Trick, of course, is useless in this scenario with +2 speed. And I believe he has a Drinks left as well. Does have a bunch of cards that are unknown to Jay. Probably striking with one of those, seeing how none of those other cards make sense. Jay, of course, can just make this a free strike just by crossing out. And just ignoring any threat that Pookie is representing here. Speed 8 cross is just the safest option in the world. Raijin Knife will also do the trick against every card except this focus, as we see some sort of anime character on this focus. Okay, cool. I mean, there's a reference for you anime heads out there, for you weebs. There you go. That's some sort of anime character. Maybe it's a famous one. I don't know. God, this card is so ugly. What? Whom? What? Oh, man, that is not a pretty looking card. Anyway, that Raijin Knife will do 0 damage, will be unable to push. Pookie with the perfect answer. Jay with the speed 10 Raijin Knife, not enough. However, that Raijin Knife does go into gauge, so the next one will be +2 power. Back to Jay. Pookie has built 2 gauge left. I wonder if he's, I guess Pookie is probably still, I was about to say, maybe this +1 speed can help break the above curve options that Melian throws from range. So maybe there's a thought there in not exceeding his Pookie, but then the damage is really so low. I don't know if Pookie can afford to not exceed in this particular matchup, just for that reason. But there's a thought there. I don't know if that's a thought that Chykka's going to pursue as Jay boosts +2 power at range 1. That second Raijin Knife now looking like a 158 among the other options that Melian can throw. Jay just looking at the backside Pookie there. I don't know. I mean, so far it looks like Melian is biding her time while Pookie's just kind of hanging in there. But Pookie can, in theory, set up explosive turns. Can set up like a triple boost into Reading into a Drunken Rampage. Maybe that's a win con there. Although one focus is down already. So yeah, I'm assuming that's probably gonna be Chykka's win con. As Pookie boosts light at range 1. So reminder, this is now gonna be a +3 speed on the specials and ultras, and only a +2 speed here. As Melian says, nope, I'm out of here. Moves to range 5. Super hardcore threatening that EX Raijin Oath now at 4 to 5, 11, 7. Or 4 to 5, excuse me, 4 to 5, 13, 7. That is a threat and a half. Pookie can, in theory, outspeed it, and yeah, looks like he's actually going to challenge that threat. Reminder, that Drunken Rampage that Pookie throws will be 8 speed, and will be able to beat out that EX Raijin Oath. Weirdly enough, Pookie does have an answer on front side. The Drunken Rampage will be how much power? Like 7 power? So pretty okay damage. I mean, the only thing is that will be the second Drunken Rampage down. Pookie will still have to find 16 damage on the board after that. But, I mean, EX Raijin Oath is not free. Looks like Melian gonna throw it anyway. Let's see if Pookie has that Drunken Rampage to beat it. Of course, that Drunken Rampage, as we said, will be 8 speed because of Pookie's frontside UA. And will beat out this EX Raijin Oath. I really want to see that come out. Hopefully this is not a bait. with like EX Halberdier. I don't think it is. This is Jay maybe saying, hey, do you have the Drunken Rampage in hand? No other EXs here really make sense in terms of EXs that like somehow beats Drunken Rampage here. But Jay challenging these boosts. Let's see if Pookie has the second Drunken Rampage. And it's going to put his money where his mouth is. Yeah, because none of these options really make sense, right? Basically, none of these options make sense. In terms of options that, like, beat Drunken Rampage. Come on, Chykka. You can do it. Come on, Chykka. You can do it. You can do it. Let's see it. I guess EX Snack Attack also works, but he's spent an EX he's spent a Snack Attack already. Come on, Pookie. Where's the EX? Where's the Drunken Rampage? Oh no, he doesn't have it. No. Surely the setup was because he has the Drunken Rampage. Don't tell me he doesn't have the Drunken Rampage. No, Snack Attack's not gonna do it. No, it's only speed 7 and Pookie. Oh no, it's all gone wrong for Pookie. Pookie takes 13 damage. Oh no, it's all over. It's all over. Oh no. Oh man. That is just so unfortunate. I thought Chykka had the Drunken Rampage. I thought he would have had it. I thought that's why he was boosting the power on the speed. So that way he has +3 power plus a billion speed on his Drunken Rampage. An 8-speed Drunken Rampage pops that 7-speed Raijin Oath, as we've been clamoring for the last minute. I was just really hoping that that's what happened. I guess if there was no Drunken Rampage in hand, I was wondering why Pookie chose to spend force in the form of Hat Trick over the Drunken Rampage. If he was setting up all those boosts, you know? Don't really know what was going on there, but that's just really, really unfortunate. Pookie now finds himself in the middle of nowhere, down 12 life. At least Raijin Oath's not a threat anymore. Until reshuffle, right? There's a little bit of solace there. Raijin Oath not a threat until reshuffle. Oh no, I was gonna get so hyped for that for the Drunken Rampage, but unfortunately not meant to be. Pookie didn't even wild swing. He spent the Snack Attack. EX Snack Attack, like we said, would have worked as well, but Chykka had spent one earlier, I believe. Did he? I feel like he spent one earlier. Chykka just opts to prep. Range 5 is relatively safe. The only thing that hits that's left from Melian now is that EX Dive, I believe. Which will hit at range 5. Because Melian, of course, chose to spend her gauge on this Raijin Oath instead of exceeding for the time being. And Melian still does have 2 gauge, so in theory exceeding is on the cards. Especially because this Ultra is a lot worse unless one's somehow in the gauge, but one's really not going to get into the gauge anytime soon, I believe. So yeah, I'm just so sad. If you can't tell, and I apologize to Jay, we have a Pookie bias here on our channel for sure. I love Pookie. Pookie's just the best, but unfortunately, poor Pookie has to deal with the monster that is Catgirl Melian. Pookie boosting power, we'll get another action off it. Boost cheats, we'll get another action off that. Boosting another power, we'll get another action off that. Is he just going for a Hail Mary Drunken Rampage here? Is that the play here? Oh, the reading. Okay, so this is a play that we called out earlier. Let's see if the reading hits. Reading does not hit. Is there a Halberdier in this hand? There's a Halberdier in this hand. In theory, however, the Halberdier might not work, because this could be Long in the Tooth. If it is the Drunken Rampage, though, then this is just incredibly sad. If it's the Long in the Tooth, though, then we're okay. And it is the Long in the Tooth. Okay, not bad at all. Unfortunately, we're not on backside Pookie, we're on frontside Pookie. So we don't get the +2 power bonus. However, this Long in the Tooth will hits 1 to 5. Will hit for 7 total damage. We'll build a couple gauge as well. Yeah, okay. So Chykka knows the matchup in terms of Halberdier beating Drunken Rampage. Nicely done. Reveals the hand as well. The hand of 0, 2, 5 Cloud Rider Dragon Tempest. None of those really help now as of yet, and I mean Pookie did have to spend 4 cards to deal 7 damage there. That's just the sad reality of Pookie's cards there. Just really unfortunate. Maybe Jay gonna opt for a Tailwind into an Assault Sweep mix-up. If he's thinking about striking here. Wait, what hits? Uh, 025. What? Oh, is Jay just striking with block to null beat and then exceed next turn? Is that what's going on? Um, yeah, I mean, I guess he's just opting for a key charge here. Obviously, none of those cards hit, to my knowledge. Could be assault in theory to reposition, especially with Pookie on 2 cards. But no, this just feels like block. I wonder what Chykka is thinking about striking here with. He's striking with drinks to get more cards back. Yeah, it is the block. Pookie will draw 3, regain 2 life here. This seems fine actually for Pookie. Can't even get the second action on Troll Swill because neither Hat Trick nor Drunken Rampage have been transformed. There's the third gauge from Mei Lian, so an Exceed is surely on the cards next turn. Especially with Pookie at range 5 currently, Pookie will have to move in, not this turn, but he will have to move in on his next turn. So Pookie does get 1 prepare action here before he has to move in. Again, both crosses are down, so it'll have to be forced to move Pookie in. Malian will surely be just exceeding next turn. Maybe Chykka opting for a reshuffle action as well, instead of the prepare. Pookie does have 1 free turn here, while Malian exceeds. Let's see what Chykka. Let's see if we don't really know obviously what Chykka has left in his deck. Oh, maybe he's Chykka. Okay, Chykka actually gonna spend his free turn to exceed as well. So Pookie loses that speed that we were talking about as a potential like quote unquote win con to defeat the random garbage that Malian can throw with her +2 range. But no, Chykka opts for the more powerful Pookie side, so he loses the speed, but when he has 2 or more continuous boosts in play, he gets a little bit extra power. And this is the juice that Pookie really needs in a lot of his games to not deck him, to deal 30 damage before he decks himself out, you know? Although I don't think deck out is in the cards here. 7 in deck, still pre-reshuffle. 12 in Malian's deck. Deck out is not happening here, for sure. But yeah, so Pookie does get a little bit of extra damage. Also can draw a card whenever he's stunned. Notably, this is optional for some reason. I don't really know a scenario where you wouldn't want to draw a card. Maybe it's for the aforementioned deck out potential that Pookie puts on himself. I guess potential is not the correct word because potential implies a positive, and this is very much a negative, decking yourself out because it causes you to lose the game. And of course, Malian's ridiculous backside UA. Cards of discard, which there are so many. Like, so many of these cards will have range. If there happens to be a card engage, it'll get power on it as well. Notably, this will mean that the first Cloud Rider in Jay's deck will do 3, and the second Cloud Rider will do 7. That's the main threat I'm concerned about here. Dragon Thresh is also a card. Oh no, Dragon Thresh we saw once spent. So basically we're looking to see Jay close out the game with like a 1-2-7-6, I believe. Of course, can just close out the game with immense range on anything. If Pookie chooses not to move in this turn, Pookie chooses not to move in, Malian gets a free turn of extra range, and yeah, obviously gonna take it. This can be literally anything. I guess it can be Grasp at least. I have no idea how Pookie's gonna respond to this. Pookie can... Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Malian gets a free turn here. I really expected Pookie to maybe close the gap a little bit. Maybe this is just Spike from Malian, a 2-5 Spike. Can Pookie even escape that? I don't think Pookie can. Out both crosses. Yeah, cannot escape this 5 power 2-5 Spike. that J is representing. I'm assuming that's a threat, and I'm assuming there's a spike in here somewhere. In theory, it could just be Assault, taking another turn. However, would move Malian closer, so I don't think it's Assault. I think as Malian, you want to be forcing Pookie to move in, because Pookie has to. Malian, obviously, with her extra range, does not have to move in. Only 5 cards left in Pookie's deck. I'm not really sure what he's looking for. Maybe he's just looking for a card to spend. With the Wild Swing, could like weirdly hit like a hat trick if he believes this to be Spike, or Dive, or a card of that shape. Which, you know, it's possible. It's possible this is not Assault, right? It's possible that's Dive or Spike. Jay, just looking at what threats he's representing. This is actually one of those times where I really want to take a look at this card to see what threats are being represented. But now Pookie just opting for the Wild Swing. Is Assault into Sweep? Yeah, another option that we neglected. This is a 1-5 sweep that will hit for 6. We'll pull a card from Chykka's hand as well. Pulls the Dive. Not really a huge deal here. Malian doesn't really need to... should be at 7 HP. Yeah. Okay, yep, Chykka fixes that right away. The Assault will, of course, miss. At least get some free movement on the Assault with the before close 2. Finds himself at range 3, however. Believe there's a Raijin Knife in the discard and a Raijin Knife left in the deck, so that's the main threats. And both focuses for Pookie are down. So a Raijin Knife at 118 is an unavoidable push. 3 spaces. Yeah, how does Pookie deal with a 118? He deals with it, of course, with Defend. Very well done. So at least when Malian strikes with the Raijin Knife this turn, Pookie can, in theory, like Assault or Dive or something back in. Hopefully that option does exist in Pookie's deck still. But yeah, this Raijin Knife is just a free combat here. Oh, interesting. Jay opting to close 2 and strike. This is notably not a very good boost, in terms of economy is concerned. I wonder what he's striking with at range 1 then. And why does he want to strike it with range 1? We know there's a Raijin Knife in the discard. Could this be a Cloud Rider, perhaps? And that's why Jay has opted to close in, because he's trying to hit a Cloud Rider into the Cloud Rider, the plan that we discussed earlier. Oh, okay, yep, and it is the Cloud Rider. Against the Drinks. Okay, so the Drinks will soak up the damage, at the very least. Cloud Rider will go to the gauge, so that second one will be a 1-2-7-6. Pookie will heal 2 life at least, and draw 3 cards as well. Drawing his last 3 cards, so now the hand is known, unfortunately. We can actually see what the hand is here. I believe there's a focus left on the side of Jay, if I had to guess. If I had to guess, there's 1, if not 2. We see a hand of EX Hat Trick, EX Block, Sweep, Spike, Drunken Rampage, Snack Attack. Yeah. Malian, of course, now at range 4 again. And yeah, of course, nothing was able to stop this Cloud Rider. I'm assuming Jay checked that there were no Grasps left in Pookie's deck. And Pookie's not on front side, so random things don't get +1 speed either. Yep. Jay just wondering why that defend is there, just because of Pookie Drinks, takes a step back and allows himself to sustain those continuous boosts. Luckily only the 1 here. But yeah, Pookie finds himself at range 4 because that Cloud Rider is the cross-up shape. I guess cross-up is a Cloud Rider shape. It apparently also allows Malian to draw a card for reasons on an after as well. Don't really know what's going on there. Fine, whatever. But yeah, Pookie finds himself at range 4. We didn't see a ton of range 4 options there. We did see the Snack Attack, but Pookie's Snack Attack, there's no way the Snack Attack will be anything. I mean, it does have a defend at least on it. No, okay, Pookie opting to boost +1 range, now strike. Okay. Threatening like Sweep or Spike. Also in theory not threatening the Drunken Rampage. Threatening Sweep, Spike, or Hat Trick here are the options that Pookie can throw out here at range 4 that will all hit. Unfortunately, Pookie does not really have a whole lot of life to trade with. And I just feel like if Melian doesn't have an option in hand, there's surely an option in a deck that hits with at range 4 first, which is a little bit unfortunate. Just checking that hand to make sure again. That was block, block, sweep, spike, snack attack was just boosted, drunken rampage, not enough gauge, and EX hat trick, which I doubt is what is being played here by Pookie. Okay. This is one way to disengage the situation. It is the hat trick. Okay, my bad. I guess I was wrong on that. Of course, this is one way to disengage from the situation. Just play cross, move to range 5, and suddenly all those threats that Pookie is throwing with the +1 range in that were known because hand was revealed are just gone. Melian now finds herself at range 5 again, where the classic range 3 normals will hit, although I do expect Melian to just prep here, if I had to guess. Oh no, Melian actually has a strike ready. Okay, interesting. I didn't expect Melian to have a strike there, because I actually no, I don't know why I didn't expect Melian to have a strike there. This is just gonna be a block, and yeah, it's the spike, unfortunately. Chykka will take 5, and yeah, I mean, like, what could Pookie have done? Like, wild swing cross off the top is really the only solution. Of course, the spike would probably hit 2 to 5, because there's probably a spike in here. I'm assuming they checked. And yeah, Pookie finds himself in a whole lot of trouble, out in the middle of nowhere. This is looking really, really sad. 3 gauge, but no Raijin doesn't need it. These options will all deal extra damage as well, so Cloud Rider, Cross, and Spike will deal. Well, Spike's already gone, we know that. Pookie, I'm assuming, will have to do some kind of change cards action. Or not change cards, move, excuse me. Doesn't want to. Well, actually, doesn't have to move, but because he does have 1 block, can opt for a change cards action and then just block the next strike and then move in. If he wants to get a refresher on the hand, which is basically useless because it has a hat trick and a drunken rampage on it, with no gauge alongside a sweep and a spike, which are not going to do a whole lot for Pookie at range 5. So this is either got to be a move or a change cards action, depending on what Chykka wants to do here. But I don't foresee this being a win here for Pookie. Pookie will really have to make an exceptional comeback, but more than that, I think Jay will have to make a lot of mistakes here to seal the win. Okay, so it's gonna be 4 force, and is Pookie gonna move or change cards here? It looks like Pookie is gonna move to range 1 here. So 4 force spent. I don't remember what cards are left. I'm assuming there's a block left, and I'm assuming there's something else left. Jay will probably have to prep here, assuming his last card is not the Cloud Rider. It looks like it's not, so yeah, Jay will have to prep here. Pookie will prep in response. Jay will probably just prep 1 more time unless he has the Cloud Rider in hand. Yep, there's the prep. Pookie might even have to prep 1 more time. 5 cards is not enough for Pookie. In a lot of cases, I feel like. That's just the sad reality of Pookie. One of the reasons why he's so bad is just 5 cards is not enough, and that really sucks. Chykka looking through discards here, maybe thinking of maybe he has drawn a focus or something, although probably just identifying what options could be thrown here. I do expect Pookie to prep 1 more time, but maybe there's something there for Pookie. Nope, there's the prep from Pookie. Full hand here. Jay looks like he's drawn the Cloud Rider, I'm assuming. Could also just be like a mix-up there. Maybe Pookie has... Oh, Pookie's drawn EX Grasp. Oh, no, it's a focus. Random cheeky focus from Jay will take the set. Jay takes it 2-0 over Chykka, and Chika's magical run with Pookie and Eternal Lasses unfortunately come to an end. We didn't get to see the Eternal Lasses today, unfortunately. We did see the Zoe. So Jay takes the set 2-0 with Jin over Zoe and with Melian over Pookie. And yeah, that's I mean, hat trick was there as an answer, but like, who expects focus here? Really well played mix up there from Jay, actually, because the quote unquote obvious answer there, of course, is like a Raijin knife or Cloud Rider or Grasp, right? like a fast option. But no, Jay just opts for the slow. Sees the even though he knew that that hat trick was in hand. Or actually, did he? Maybe not. I don't remember. Opts for the slow and wins the final mix up here against the EX Grass from Pookie. Jay takes the set 2-0. We'll move on to the grand finals. Yes, we have made it to the grand finals almost. The other side of the back bracket will be Mix versus Fakey. If you guys like to see Malian gameplay, I hope you guys will like to see a Malian mirror. But unfortunately, Chykka is eliminated here. Don't know if there's a third place match in the cards for him in the future, but Chykka's run ends here. Of course, this is a single elimination tournament. But really well done. I mean, shocked a lot of people with the Pookie and the Eternal loss, especially in a tournament where, you know, these Malians are out. I think Chykka did quite well, all things considered, earning himself at least a tied for third place ranking. But yeah, Jay will move on to the finals where he will face either Mix or Fakey. Won these two games in relatively dominant fashion, I would say. And is looking good for the finals. So that other semifinals match will be happening later. Not later this week. Next week, rather. I think they said either Wednesday or Friday, so we will have to wait a bit on that. Maybe between then and Wednesday, I'll have another post commentary out of a match that I was supposed to do a couple weeks ago. And yeah, that's it for me. Congratulations to Jay for taking the set 2-0 again with his matching cat avatar for April Fool's Day. Of course, that's why everything looks like this. Hopefully, it gets changed back as soon as possible because this is awful to look at. Of course, we're also in upside down reality for some reason. Of course, as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, congratulations to Jay for taking the set 2-0 in rather convincing fashion. And we'll see you guys for the next one. Whether that be the post-com that I'm planning or the match between Mix and Fakey, hopefully. And hopefully I'll actually be able to catch both of those. But other than that, thank you guys so much again for watching. And we'll see you for the next one. Bye-bye.